wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Knoll, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. Okay, and with that said, um, so to all of you who stop here and say, "Well, what the heck is he talking about?" Well, we got hit the other day, the 27th or the 28th, with some extreme radiation type stuff from the galaxy. I don't think it came from the sun. I think they said it was, from out yonder somewhere, right? And that there was whole sections of the eastern United States that was getting hammered by this particular quote radiation. Now, I ask this because there are some of us old people who have been acting weird lately, like dropping things we didn't used to drop. I mean, there are things here, I'm like, where did it go? I dropped it. No, well, wait a minute. Let me see where that. No, I dropped it again. Can't find that one either. Dropped a pill earlier. Tiny little white pill. Well, not tiny, but small little white pill, easy to see. Um, and I looked under the chair and that puppy was gone. So there are things that are happening almost like I know that the little people and the fairies exist, that kind of thing. So, could they be messing with me? Yeah, but I don't think they're messing with me in that they're messing with my body and my bodily functions. And you say, Hawkeye, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm talking about that my fingers are starting to wiggle on their own. I look down and go, what the hell? And it happens to be the index finger and the neck and your middle finger, and those two things they'll start jumping up and down on their own. Both hands, both sides of the center line, right? So it's like, what the hell? So the first thing I do is cross my hands, right? Let me see if I can do that a little better. So across my hands is first thing I do. Why? Because you need to make sure that you can cross the center plane of your body. So your hands move over here, wash on, wax on, wax off, and the hands cross the midline. It's important for the brain. Okay. So you cross the midline, cross the midline, cross the midline. It keeps you centered in that. Um, if other things are trying to affect you, and if you feel like your brain is kind of moving around and drifting, you can simply, without any kind of, happen to know any kind of specialty in anything, right? Because my job is to show you simple things. You don't have to learn, um, not to say that it isn't good now, um, different types of, Tai Chi and things, absolutely learn them. But if you're in a rush or in it, and for people who just don't know, then it's very important to cross the midline. So just hands up, cross the midline, hands up, cross the midline, hands up, cross the midline. So anyway, I started feeling jittery in a way I ain't never felt before. Now, I take a lot of medicines for my heart and conditions, right? But something, hi, Alexander, what is up? And cheers to you. And so, but the other day I'm watching Stefan, somebody that's showing, what's going on with the earth and all the stuff that's coming in. And aloha, Hook. And so I'm watching and I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, oh, this whole section of the United States is just getting creamed by, and it was a dark blue kind of thing. And I was like, well, I live in that, what the hell? But in having to go to the doctor, having had to go to the hospital to have a CT scan X-ray. By the way, CT scan X-ray. Um, it was 300 for me to get in, but I qualified because I'm poor for indigent care. So in I go. Put your hands over your head, Mister No. Okay. Make sure they're up. All right. All right. Hold your breath, and they run you through the machine and say, "Okay, that's it." And it takes a few seconds, but not long. I don't think it's 30 seconds total. So then the machine resets and it brings you back through, and then they say, okay, hold your breath again, please, and you release. Okay, you're done. And I'm like, seriously, all this stuff and everything that I had to have a special appointment, had to do this, had to in order to check my heart and my breathing. And I've got another test in early September. I think it's the 5th. But an old man's got to be tested to make sure that I stay up with things. Now, during this time, I'm starting to feel, jittery. My both hands, these hands, I mean, I've got neck problems and I've had surgery, you can't see it, but it's under there. And 3 times in my neck, right? And so I know about tingling in the fingers and all that kind of stuff. That is not new to me, right? Have lived a bunch of since the 80s. I have lived with this issue with tingling in the fingers and all that kind of thing, right? So, but this is totally different. This is different. I can't really feel, but I can. I was holding a cigarette earlier and the bitch just dropped out of my hand. And I was like, nah, so now I got, and I mean just in the last 2 or 3 days, right? Since Tuesday ish. Now I could, blame it on the new aerosol spray that I've got for my lungs. It was punky earlier, man. I had a good hit of that thing. Boom, man, I saw all kinds of boogers and things. But that's the other thing. My normal medicine is acting weird. I mean, like, whoo, weird. I mean, like, seriously having a trip, man. Not just a little weird from a miss. No, there's that. This is showing up. I'm tripping. I mean, like I'm on mushrooms or something. And there are different things in the room. And, there's different things that like when I want to get up and stand up and walk, there's like, whoo, 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 But something has changed um, the other day. And the funny, I felt like something was changing before I saw Stefano um, YouTube channel that was checks all the stuff. Um, And I was like, oh, this is weird. Wonder what's going on today, kind of thing, right? And then I go in and I check things later on and I realize, holy crap, we just went through a humongous solar storm of cosmic energy. And he showed it. It's like right over here on the map. It's over here. There's a whole section of the eastern United States. Yes, I'm doing well. Just very what? Just very hot these days in Aruba. It's 4 a.m. and it's about 90 degrees. Ooh. Mm. I grew up with that in Tampa. I am sweating the whole day. I know you mean sweating. I saw the Schumann resonance was high, Pat. Yes, I saw that today too. And it had a dip in it where it just kind of went back sort of to normal, but even normal was kind of fuzzy. And then there was one spike that went way up off the charts, and it was real thin, but it was a spike that just went wacko. And I don't under. There are times when I feel like I've been zapped, you know? And so, in my wonderment of things, the fact that I am subject to some of these things, feeling wise and cosmic wise and all that, I don't try to make any kind of um, predictions. Although the video I did the other night with, things that I saw, that might be coming. So, but that's from just obvious observations, and anybody can sit down and go, I think Dave's right on that one because you can see it coming, you know. So it's not like a big prediction, but and some of the things I talked about the other day, they were there were some stuff in there that folks need to pay attention to, Um, is it earth shattering? Well, it might keep them out of trouble, you know, and that's my role here as in in the wreckage of all this stuff. I'm supposed to help slow folks get along and understand it, and it's like that's okay if it's like, well, wait a minute, they're going too fast for me. Me too. So let's together slow it down, discuss it. So, but the cosmic energy that hit us the other day was astronomical. So that should let us know that we on the east coast of the United States received something that the west coast did not get. All right. Now, I'm not trying to be, ooh, we got more than you or anything like that, but it was obvious by the map that, barely across the Mississippi kind of thing, um, there's all this energy. Of course, it dissipates out slower, but over the anything past the desert did not make it. Nothing went over the desert. There were no big energy swipes that went westward, my son. No, that big energy plasma. I don't know if it was plasma. All right, I won't say that. Um, whatever that energy bulge was the other day, August 27th or the 28th. So anybody that watches this or tries, you know, think about how you felt those 2 days. And I mean, I was like, wow, boom, bam, boom, bam. And like I said, I know I'm crazy and I get slapped around sometimes, but these were some energies. I had to shake my head and go, what the hell? You know, what the hell was that? Now it could be local, but when he showed me the map the other night with all the eastern coast in blue, I was like, oh, so that was why. So um, I know there are probably a lot of folks who will just not even see the title of this video anywhere. Um, but if you happen to come across this video, please think about it and please comment, because that's the only way we're going to find out if other people are affected with this stuff. And I used to have a network of people where I could call them up and say, okay, so, how did you feel the other day? And they was like, man, God Almighty, I was right, and so they would give me an answer. But now I don't, you know, you are the public, you are the people that I proposed this to. How did you feel on, you know, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week? Tuesday and Wednesday. How did you feel? Did you feel like you got zapped or something in it during the day? Did you feel like maybe something had changed by the end of the day? You were driving down the road and looking out the window and you just something came in your head and you just like, what was that? Because there's been some of that in my head, like seeing stuff, just odd pictures, just like whoa, you know. Take a I'll take a hit off of one of my breathing things, right? And inhale, and all of a sudden, hold my eye, close my eyes, and boom, there's all kind of pictures in my head, in that fourth wall kind of thing. And I'm like, well, where, okay, it's really odd that the medicine is making me see or react to anything like this. Hasn't happened in the past. And that's sort of what I mean. 2 days ago, I could fall away any way I wanted to, and none of this stuff took place. 2 days later, now I'm taking the same stuff. What has changed? Obviously, something, in my opinion, something has changed me. So, as strong as that energy wave was, I want to say I think everybody on the East Coast got a that we obviously got a dose of it. There is no doubt we got a dose of radiation, galactic energy, and it was really high up on the scale. There's no doubt. Every single person um, east of the Mississippi River and a little bit further west, it was a little more like out to Kansas kind of thing. But um, from there all the way to the ocean and past, we all got a good dose of this radiation or cosmic energy, whatever. And I mean, he had it listed on the the thing behind him. Stefan did the other day, and I had to watch it twice, and I had a slight argument with Barry, and I was very like, well, and then I had to call back like 5 minutes later and apologize, which is okay, um, which brings up to another topic that I want to take separate in a separate vehicle, a video. This is 20 minutes long. So, if anybody's, had anything happen, um, with any of these energies that have come in, but especially on Tuesday and Wednesday this week, it was weird. And ever since then, I've had my fingers have been jumping all by themselves. I'll be sitting here and and my fingers will jump up and down. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm got my fingers laid down and everything's groovy, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, and it's starting with the index finger, and it goes over to the middle finger, and I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and I'm like, these two fingers feel like they're in a state of readiness. That's all I can. That's how I can explain it. That's all I can figure. So these two fingers are just waiting for the command to go boom. It just there's like a little bit of tension back here in the knuckle and in the finger here, to where these two fingers are waiting for a signal from somewhere to go boom, boom, boom. Same thing with this one, and this one's really loose. These two fingers are like spiders all the way, you know. But so this has only started happening since Tuesday. Okay, I'm I'm on medicines that help keep my neurogenic stuff at bay and in control. I've not had any other similar types of issues. My neck really isn't bothering me. There's no tingling in my fingers, which usually happens when my fingers are doing something weird that's related to my neck, because the neck will absolutely tear up your hands, you know, and arms too. But there's no tingling, there's no deadness. But so I'm sitting here with two fingers on either side that at any moment will just go boom, boom, all on their own. Now, that's a change since Tuesday. It's not all in my head. It's not. I know I do some crazy stuff. I know expect or some crazy results. This is nothing like that, y'all. But it started on the 27th, 28th. Today's the 29th, right? It might have worked into Thursday too, because if this is Friday. So, but some of it did fall into Tuesday, but I think I'm sorry, Thursday. Tuesday got it started. Wednesday, oh boy, and Thursday was like looked back and went, "What? What was that all about?" And with stuff still going on, and here we are on Friday, early Saturday morning, and wondering for me, wondering what some of this means, because I absolutely got bonked. I absolutely got. There was absolutely um, a jolt of energy for me on Tuesday. I felt it. It it was it was there, and the results of it are still here. So I'm going to end this video. Yep, I am. I continue to pray that each and every day that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. And if you watch this and you've had any kind of reactions or such, um, please feel free to put it in the comment section, and we can maybe chat with it later. I would love to hear if anybody else out yonder is having any particular problems, or if they felt like, I mean, it felt like something overtook me, okay, but not in a spiritual way that was like, I'm going to take over your body. It was not that, but it was like, whoa, like I was filled. Okay, here's a dumb comment. I was filled with patriotism. I was filled with love for my country. And for some reason, for me, in this little dream thingy that was like ever present when it happened, it was those who love Mother Russia. And I was like, well, that's a weird statement. But most Americans don't love America like those hardcore Russians do. That they just will, work for Mother Russia. So anyway, for some reason, there was this Russian thing that, and I think what it meant for me was that there are people all over the world, especially Russia, who are having similar things going on with them. And when we can get some of the information out from there, there's some really bizarre stuff that's happening, even in Moscow, for all places. So I love you all. I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. And so until next time, now I'm cutting this one off, and I'm in about 10 minutes. I'm going to start another. Um, I'm going to start another one of these, and I'm going to talk about cosmic consciousness and the conscious. I can't believe it. The conscious carbon nanites, which apparently are very true. And that's what's going to invade us on this new MI Atlas. Anyway, okay. Please be safe. I will see you soon. 10 minutes if you're watching this.